that stuff, though.
And Gus, go with the theme song.
Hey, everyone, it's a podcast.
Boom, 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 podcast.
.com.
Wow, you got help on yours. Jeff joined in.
I love Gus.
A little instrumental.
Hey,
Okay.
it's Gus here with the Rooster Teeth podcast and two other assholes.
Boop, boop. Yeah, this week we don't have Joel with us. He's out in the front room. I think Joel's mad because I don't think he likes the character we're establishing for him.
Well, in that case, let me continue that on by saying that Joel came into the office very frazzled this morning at about 9:30 or so because he'd been working on a project file in Final Cut the previous night, and in his words, saved it over 1 million times, but then couldn't find it. And he assured me that he named it something - Joel, and that it was on RAID 5. And it took me about 20 minutes of him fretting before I found it saved on a local drive in a folder for a different game that didn't have his name or any identifying marks on it whatsoever. I don't know how I found it, but it was pretty funny. I realized that Joel was completely befuddled by the idea of where to save something or what to call it.
RAID 5 is our network drive that we use to record most of our audio or video footage that we do for different projects. So I really like that piece of equipment because it's got this array of hard drives on it. You can click them and pull them out one by one. But the coolest thing about it is that they're all freezing cold, even though everything else is hot. I don't know how they do that.
Yeah, it's really weird.
It's kind of like that, kind of like in 2010 when they gotta go to HAL and try to remove the certain points of them. You know what I'm talking about?
Those are crystals.
Yeah, that was pretty different.
Same kind of thing. Like push a button and shit comes out.
It was 2001 also, wasn't it?
No, I was talking about 2010.
Okay.
Also, ours has
With John Lithgow.
Jeff's experience with 2001 are the flashback scenes from 2010, basically. All right. So, what are we going to talk about this week? Do you guys want to go outside of our comfort zone and talk about something that could be spoilerish and talk about Lost? Because the Lost season finale was
Last night
for us. Yeah.
Well, fuck it. Why not?
By the time this comes out tomorrow, it will have appeared everywhere, right?
I mean, it's aired. It's over.
There was so much to talk about. I don't actually watch Lost, but I read it on Wikipedia.
He reads about it, and then I have to tell him about it the day after the episode
he
airs.
fills in. Because, the problem is we got 5 episodes behind, and my wife refuses to let me catch up. I don't know what it is. But she wants to watch a new episode, but she refuses to watch an old episode. But we can't get to the new episodes till we get through the old episodes. It's just retarded, I know. But so I just read about Lost now. But anyway, the point is, it was such an epic episode that Gus came in this morning, and I wanted to talk about it with him because I'd read about it on Wikipedia. And we went downstairs and we got coffee because we didn't want to spoil it for Nathan.
Jeff is shot out of a cannon.
I am. Well, I'd say it's morning. I haven't had any beer for lunch or anything. I'm still awake. So we went downstairs and we got coffee, and then we walked all the way from the coffee shop to my wife's place of work, which is 10 blocks away because I forgot my memory card and she brought it to work, and then all the way back, and then we went to the conference room and we sat in the conference room for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And that was all just Gus giving his synopsis of the episode.
Well, one of the great things that, and we need to write this down so that we can give a link associated with the podcast, but we found those Lost Untangled videos that apparently ABC puts out and doesn't promote and no one's ever heard of.
Yeah, each video has 6,000 views on YouTube, but they are tremendous.
No. Each video has 500 views on YouTube.
I saw
it's like a 5-minute synopsis of a Lost episode using stick figures and a comic book style.
But isn't it done by ABC?
Yeah, it's done by ABC, and they only the video with the most views has 22,000 views. Most of their videos have 500 to 800 views.
And what is it?
It's just a 5-minute synopsis of every Lost video, every Lost episode. It's very comic book style meets greatest episode ever, stick figures and acting it out.
Well, now is it done by the producers of Lost, or is it just done by the network?
It's done by the network. It seems like
it's pretty hilarious,
but it's pretty well done and it's pretty faithful to the episode. It gets all the major points across and manages to be funny and really really entertaining.
Yeah.
All right. So is the rule now if something is out there, it's okay to talk about it?
It's fair game. Yeah. We're going to warn people right now. We're going to talk about it, and they can stop listening.
And I don't know. I mean, I have no idea. We'll assume we're going to be talking about this for 15 minutes, maybe at the most. So if you want to fast forward 15, I guess you could do that.
At 15 minutes and 5 seconds, I'm going to shout the biggest spoiler I can.
but the weird thing about it is that people get so uptight about spoiler stuff for stuff they have yet to watch that's been out there for. I mean, it really should be the point at which it comes out. That's the point at which people can talk about it, right?
Right, and then if you haven't seen it, you have to. It's your duty to remove yourself from the public.
Case in point,
or not get upset about it because you didn't care enough about it to watch it. So
when we filmed the spoiler alert video, I had never seen There Will Be Blood, and that totally milkshake line totally spoiled the movie for me. But the movie's been out for 2 years. It's my fault.
Yeah.
You know? I
It's
don't begrudge anyone.
It was more the bowling pin.
The bowling pin thing. Whatever. That whole scene.
Then the milkshake thing.
I don't know who he kills, but now I know. When I finally watch the movie, I'm going to know.
Yeah, man. It's crazy when you see those big performance movies like that, and you think, like, they're going to be huge, and then they just, like, turn out to be, like, you never talk about them again.
Yeah.
Like, we saw The Wrestler. I mean, that seemed like such a fantastic movie, but it didn't win Best Picture. It didn't win Mickey Rourke an Oscar, and then it's just like, then what happens with that movie? It's like, it's not really, like, nobody's... I don't see people going out and, like, screaming out to buy The Wrestler DVD. Is it even out on DVD?
Right.
I think it just came out.
Yeah.
Probably not going to make AFI's top 100 films of all time.
Well, what an awesome movie.
What an awesome movie.
It's helping relaunch Mickey Rourke's career, giving him more work.
He plays the Crimson Dynamo in the new Iron Man movie.
Yes, he does.
Which is awesome.
You know Gary Shandling is in the new Iron Man movie, too?
Yeah, I know. I didn't know that.
Uh-oh.
Well, the problem with Iron Man is, if you go too deep in Iron Man, you start to have to put in villains, and there's no villains in the Iron Man series.
That's a big problem with a lot of things. Star Trek doesn't have good villains either, aside from, like, Khan, I guess.
I would argue that Khan's not a good villain if you go back.
I mean, he's the only memorable one, really.
Yeah.
Can you name another, like, Star Trek movie villain?
So, what was the path we took here? From our spoilers of Lost to now
Star
we're talking
Trek.
about Mickey Rourke being the Crimson Dynamo and Star Trek villains.
Oh, man.
Next, we're going to be talking about stuff for sale on QVC or something like that. Okay, so talk about Lost. You apparently liked it. Uh-oh.
Telephone.
Is this call?
Maybe.
Nope. I don't call it. One answer.
Okay.
Did you see Lost? Let's start with this.
I did see Lost.
Did you like it?
Listen, I thought the best season finale for Lost was season 3, when Jack with the crazy beard. I like dudes with crazy beards, first of all, but that's the moment when they switch from doing flashbacks to doing present day or flash forwards. In that particular case, they switch from what we've been watching all along to those flashbacks to this new thing they were doing, and it felt like a payoff for everything that you'd seen so far. Mm-hmm. Like, you had this really cool moment of, oh, they're not flashing back. They're showing that these people are off the island. We've been watching it the whole time. That was fantastic. Season 4, they introduced the people parachuting onto the island, that set up the Miles characters, and the Faraday character. Most of those people are dead now, except for Miles. This one felt just like the Season 4 one to me, where they all of a sudden introduced people we've never seen before. They're kind of based on what we know about the island, and they're setting up what's really going to happen in Season 5, or the final season, or whatever. Season 6. And they're setting all that stuff up. And I had the feeling, while I liked it a lot, I had a feeling that they were setting up the final season of Lost, which to me feels like it's going to be a very great season that's going to feel inspired by the popular series Lost. Like, I don't think that anything that we've gone with all along is going to be anything more than a prologue to what's about to happen.
Gotcha.
That's how I feel. Like, they introduced Jacob a long time ago, and I mean, even Ben, like, kind of diminutized Jacob by saying he was making up the fact that he couldn't see him before, and now Richard, who is this guy on the island, who to me was the most mysterious guy that we knew the most about, he apparently knows nothing now. I mean, like, he wanders around in the jungle not knowing anything, knowing less than Locke knows, you know?
Well, that was the payoff, though, was that it wasn't actually Locke who knew all this stuff.
Yeah.
Right, the island Locke who came back
right.
is not John Locke, it's this counterpart to Jacob.
Right, that's why he knows more than Alpert.
Okay,
so I wouldn't say that Richard Alpert knows less than Locke.
But what does he know? I mean, all we know about Richard Alpert that he seems to have confidence in now is that Jacob made him the way he is. But he just seems like guy.
He's an advisor. That's what they said.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that he doesn't. I don't think he wanders around, like an idiot. I think he does know a lot about the island. He just doesn't say it, or he doesn't talk about it.
Listen, I'm just bitter because they killed Juliet. I can't tell you how bitter I am.
Well, I don't think she's dead, though. Like, at the end, when they had the eye opening and it said Lost in 2010, that was her eye.
Okay, I can see that. But then, I mean, she could be... I mean, is John Locke dead? But he's still in the show, you know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, technically, the character of John Locke is now dead. Mm-hmm. But, Juliet is... She's one of the best things on television, because whether she's in Marooned on an Island or stuck backwards in time in the 70s, she can always find a low-cut top. It doesn't matter. Like, the Dharma Initiative must have a stockpile of, like, low-cut halter tops for her to wear. It's incredible. And then they kill her.
Whenever, lots of times I'm out in public with my wife, and I'm always pointing out women like, God, doesn't that woman look a lot like Juliet from Lost? Like, God, doesn't that woman look a lot like Juliet from Lost? My wife's like, you're in love with her, aren't you? You're totally obsessed with Juliet. Everyone looks like her to you. And I was like, yeah.
She's probably the hottest woman on television.
She's pretty hot.
Yeah, and then they offer. But that's the way I feel. I just feel like I want everything that I've invested in so far to be something more than a prologue, but I don't, after last night's episode, I don't think it's going to be that way. You know? And they had like this kind of weird, thing where at the end of the episode, you know how they cut to black with the Lost? They cut to white with the black Lost on it. And that was like, ooh, look, we're changing things up. And I was like, oh, no. I mean, that didn't have the same feeling to me that them being off the island. Like, I always thought the premise, going back to season 1, I thought the premise of the show was them getting off the island or discovering what the island was about. And we've already been to them getting off the island, and that just didn't seem to matter at all. Like, it was irrelevant to get off the island.
Because I think they realized that that's not what they were supposed to do.
I guess not.
Yeah.
You know, and even people who, like, went through all this trouble to get off the island, it didn't seem like a big deal to them either. Like, Michael and Walt, you know? Like, Walt especially. It's like, he was such an important character, and then this season, you kind of, like, run into him on a city block, like a guy you used to know or work with. And it's like, oh, hey, what's going on? Yeah, the island thing was crazy. See ya. And it's like, okay, I guess Walt really wasn't that important, ever.
Yeah, the Walt thing is really weird. It seems like they were really building that up, like he was special. And that also, the Walt thing and Aaron being evil.
Yeah.
Or something like that, right? That was an old thing from season 1 or 2?
Well, I mean, you could do it with any of those characters. Like, what happened to Claire? Claire's just, she's gone.
Well, she's dead.
She's with dead?
Yeah, I thought she died, and she's with Christian Shepherd now.
How did she die?
No, she just went. She just with them.
She
never
walked
died.
off in the woods one night. She left the camp, and Hurley was like, Claire just walked out into the woods in the middle of the night, and then she wasn't seen again until she was in the cabin with Christian Shepherd, who, you know, we always assumed was Jacob or working with Jacob, but now, based on what I read, he could be the other dude.
Yeah, and here's
because like Jacob abandoned that cabin because the dust was broken. I guess the line was broken, and so. That entire time we saw Claire and all that stuff, and Christian Shepherd through this whole thing could be the bad guy.
When they found Jack Shepherd, when they found Christian Shepherd's coffin, the one that Jack brought on the plane, was it empty?
It was empty.
So now that's a big deal. I mean, that's something they set up way back then that, you know, Christian's coffin was empty, and he's walking around the island apparently, but as a ghost. But like the reveal of like John not being in his body. Everything is so up in the air when somebody comes back to life. That didn't necessarily be like, oh my God, that's not John, even though I knew that's exactly what they were going for.
Right.
You know? Like, well, if he's out here dead, who's in there? You know? But it's like, who's to say that it's not John, you know? Just because he's not in his body.
Well, now you're overthinking it.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's just like...
Didn't Richard Alpert say that Jacob couldn't bring people back from the dead, or that he had no idea?
He said he had never seen that.
Never seen that before, and the 2 times it's happened, it's been kind of weird, and one time it was obviously not Jacob but the other guy, so can't we just assume that that's a power that the dark clothes guy has?
I don't know. I mean, I really don't know. And now we got this, like, battle between these two people. Like, to me, they were introducing enough stuff, like layers with Ben and, what's the guy's name? The Australian dude.
Desmond?
No, the puppeteer guy.
Whitmore?
Yeah, Whitmore. They were introducing those layers of, like, a higher level battle with those guys. Now they're going another level. Yeah. Like, if they add another level in the middle of next season, is that going to be okay? You know, it's just like, at what point are we following the characters we started off with, and these are the people who are discovering stuff about the island? It's just like another level, another level, another level. You know what I mean?
I think we finally, it seems like we finally reached the top level. Like, people who've been alive for hundreds of years and are really overseeing everything.
Right. But that's who I thought Richard was. But Richard doesn't know anything.
No, I never got the impression Richard oversaw anything. He was never the leader. He was always...
like a liaison.
Yeah, an advisor.
Okay. But, I mean, when it was set up before, I mean, he was with the others, and we didn't know much about him. He recruited Ben, and we thought Ben was the leader of the others, and then we have this Richard guy, but then Richard's not the leader. He appoints the leader, which is a position that then talks to Jacob, who is a guy on the island and lives in a tow. You know? I don't know what to say. I mean, I don't want to be negative because I did like the episode. I just don't know what we're going to see next season. You know what I mean? But I definitely feel like it's going to feel like inspired by Lost, as opposed to being like a payoff. Like I think the season 3 finale was a payoff of everything we've been invested in. You know, It's just going to be like, oh, this is a good story based on what we've kind of shown you already before. That's how I think the next season's going to roll. I really do.
Awesome. Really looking forward to it.
I look forward to it, regardless.
Yeah.
So.
It's a shame it's 2010.
That's not that far away, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like 6 months away at this point.
Wow.
When is it? I mean, 2010 is May they're going to start it?
All they said was 2010.
So they'll probably start. They started in February this year, I think, right?
Yeah, it was like late January, early February.
Yeah.
Remember when TV used to start in September and go till like April or May?
Well, that's cool now. It's just the way stuff rolls now with they got to compete with the internet and everything else, so what can you do? Okay. Enough about Lost, though. I mean, so you really loved it, I think.
I thought it was okay. There was some stuff in it I really liked, but I thought it was I thought it could have been a little shorter. It dragged on a little, I felt.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's 2 hours, so.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a tough thing where if they produce 22 hours of basically, I mean, a movie's 2 hours, so they have basically 11 movies they make every season, and you think about how much information that if you sat through 11 movies and they gave you as little information as a season of Lost gives you, you'd be like, "Fuck this! I'm not going to see the next movie. I'm not going back."
I mean, I almost quit Lost during season 1 because of that.
I did quit.
It was going so slow and there was such little information. There were like 2 or 3 times where it's like, if this episode's not great, I'm going to stop watching. And those episodes were good. I was like, okay, I'm going to give it one more week.
Yeah, those were the episodes you convinced me to come back because I quit around episode 12. I was like, this is retarded.
Yeah. Well, it's like they do that now, where it's like they fall into their own pattern of they do the reveal of some mysterious piece of information that they're going to fill in later, or like maybe they give you a little bit more like step towards that, and then they play that dramatic music. But now they're doing that on stuff you already know, like when Eloise is telling you because he's my son. It's like, yeah, we know that. We've known that for like 5 episodes now. Why are they playing dramatic music when she reveals that Daniel Faraday is her son? We get it, I guess maybe it's for her benefit, the music, so she can feel important. But I don't know. We'll see. I have very, very high hopes. I have very, very high hopes.
As do I.
Yeah.
And maybe one day Jeff will start watching it again also.
I cannot wait to read next season. I'm very excited.
Felicity, my other favorite J.J. Abrams series, never made it past the time travel season. So this one is going to be like maybe the fulfillment of that, and we'll see like what he does after the time travel stuff. Do you think they'll be back now in their regular time?
Yes, but I don't think that it's going to work like they thought it was. I don't think they'll be landing in LAX.
All right. Well, I just felt like we need to talk about the Lost thing. You're not really saying that much, though, Gus. Do you want to say anything else about it?
I don't know. It's hard. I wish I hadn't talked to Jeff about it this morning. I had a lot to say, and I've already been through it.
Yeah. Well, I talked to people on AIM last night, like people I know who are on the site that messaged me about it, and they all seem to say that they thought it was fantastic. And whatever they saw that was fantastic, I didn't see it. You know what I mean? I guess the Jacob thing is very important to them. You know what I mean? And they bought into it completely. So
I was very frustrated with Juliet changing her mind every 5 minutes about what to do.
Yeah,
drives me crazy.
And seemingly unmotivated.
Yeah.
Seemingly totally unmotivated. And like even the characters on screen are saying, "Why do you keep?" And why are we listening to her after changing her mind like every 10 seconds? Why is she driving this thing? So
what's next on the list?
All right, let's see how far into this.
I'm getting lost it out. Actually,
I know. I hear you, man. All right, so that's we actually are 20 minutes in, so I'll have to edit the fuck out of that.
While Bernie's looking at that, I will point out that Finch just wanted to thank me for the last podcast. We never mentioned WoW the entire time, which I guess is the first podcast we haven't talked about WoW.
Oh shit, it's time to talk about WoW.
We could roll into WoW if you'd like.
Well, you just mentioned WoW. They just announced for WoW that they're going to be giving out at BlizzCon a new pet.
The vanity pet this year is Grunty. It's a Murloc in StarCraft Space Marine armor with a little plasma rifle.
That's cute.
Yes, and Gus has spent most of your day yesterday trying to figure out how to get it. I spent
a long time trying to figure out how to get this without actually going to BlizzCon. Because going to BlizzCon, it's like a $150 ticket, and it's also in Anaheim. So, you'd have to buy a plane ticket to go out there, because you need to go out there and physically be there to get the bag with the stupid little card in it.
Hey,
computer.
It looks like computer locked up.
Okay,
you're good.
So you have to go out. You actually have to go out to Anaheim and get the bag.
I want to point out we're recording on a Mac. They don't lock up. I've seen the ads.
Okay, it was cute. It was cute. So I figured out that you can, if you pay $40 and you're a DirecTV subscriber, you can get like a live BlizzCon feed and you get the pet that way. Or if you're not a DirecTV subscriber, you can still pay $40 and watch it on your computer like an internet stream, and you also get the pet that way.
So is that what you're going to do?
Yeah, I'm going to pay $40 and get the pet.
You're paying $40 for that vanity pet.
You could probably...
Whoa.
Yeah.
I might pay $40 several times to get a couple.
You going to try and sell them?
Maybe.
They
You
sell
think
for a
you're
lot
going
of
to be
money.
the only person that has that idea?
They still sell for a lot of money. It doesn't matter.
All right, we'll
like
see.
the Murky I got from year 1 of BlizzCon, I still see go for like $1,200 on eBay.
But that was year 1. We're at year of what?
The pet from last year, which I believe was a polar bear mount with a Murloc with a BlizzCon flag. I think you can buy that for $600 on eBay.
So
Holy
everybody reading
shit.
this podcast, go buy as many fucking grunties as you can.
Yeah, and if you're,
Drive the price
reading
down.
an audio podcast, please contact me and let me know how you're doing. We need to hire somebody who can read waveforms.
Yeah, maybe that's what they're doing.
All right, what else is going on? Now that we're done talking about the WoW section of our podcast.
We're coming back to WoW later. Don't worry about it.
You and I filmed something yesterday, a live action thing.
Yeah, that's probably something we'll put out just for sponsors, though. I think.
Yeah,
I think so. We did a test we shot with in a unique way, and I'm still working with it a little bit, but I don't think technically it's up to the quality of our other stuff. So
Yeah.
that might be a sponsor thing. So you should probably look for that either later on Thursday or early on Friday. And then what else? Oh, you guys were getting on me a little bit. You guys always like to get on me about like Gus apparently is spying on my game playing habits. Like,
Yeah.
He watches what I do. Like when he saw that I was kind of playing WoW, he started looking at my achievements and like tracking me. And then he saw I was playing Fallout 3, and I made the comment that I didn't think Fallout 3 was really all that great. And so then he started tracking me to see that I was still playing it even after I said it wasn't
I was
great.
playing Fallout, and like I would look at my blade, and I would see you're online, and it tells me like Bernie Burns, level 5 citizen, wandering the wasteland.
Level 5 citizen?
Yep.
Okay, well, here's the thing about Fallout that kind of caught me off guard. Fallout is basically Oblivion.
Same company, same
Well-
kind of game.
Well, that's I mean, Blizzard makes a lot of different games. You don't actually just pick up and play the same game. I mean, it's literally Oblivion, but with a sci-fi theme. That's what it is. I mean, it feels to me like a skin game. In fact, I was going to show you, but I don't have the disc here with me today. Like when you go to talk to somebody for the first time, it's that menu-driven conversation stuff, of course. But it does that thing like when you go to talk to them and it zooms in on their face, just like Oblivion. It feels just like Oblivion.
Really?
You know how in Oblivion you can wait, and you can specify like wait for 5 hours or wait for 6 hours so you can get past the night?
Yeah.
It's like you accidentally hit wait and then selected 2,000 years. And you woke up and you were in Oblivion. You're in a wasteland. I mean, am I wrong? Have you played Oblivion?
Yeah, and I could definitely see that. I mean, there's a lot of similarities, but I mean, you could say any RPG is like that. You can wait in any RPG. I mean, so the camera movement zooms in on people when you talk to them.
It's just the overall
I mean,
feel.
Mass Effect is the same way, has that menu-driven conversation. You talk to someone and you see it like that.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? It's like when I pick up ODST and play ODST, I'm expecting it to feel like Halo. When I pick up and play Battlefield, it's an FPS, but it doesn't feel like Halo. It doesn't, it's not... A genre can be different. This feels like Oblivion. I mean, when you wander around stuff, the waiting stuff it's all the same.
Yeah, I guess I can totally see what you're saying, and I agree with you to an extent. The problem I have with it is that I hated Oblivion so much. I hate admitting the fact that I like a game that's like Oblivion.
Okay.
Yeah, I was not a fan of Oblivion either.
Oblivion and Morrowind are terrible. I said it.
Okay. Well, I'm saying I don't
I'm going to get
Fallout
hate
3.
mail. I know, that's why.
Well,
Those games are terrible.
Not to change subjects from this gripping conversation, but you mentioned Battlefield. Gus and I watched the trailer for Battlefield 1943 this
Well,
morning.
we have more Fallout to talk
Oh,
about.
do you still got
Yeah,
Fallout to
we're
get through?
still going.
What else would you like to talk about in Fallout?
Well, I'm curious if it's like Oblivion in the sense does Oblivion put out DLC that's constantly broken as well?
Ooh.
Because it seems like Fallout 3. Have they had a release yet?
No, they're 3 for 3.
3 for 3.
Wow, that's rough.
Yeah, they're
Actually, you could consider it more than that, too, because their PC stuff has been broken as well on that DLC front in different ways than the Xbox.
Yep.
How so?
DLC.
The I think it was Broken Steel DLC on the PC wouldn't play because of a DRM issue.
Oh, great.
And on the Xbox, it was different. You could play it, but the achievements wouldn't unlock when you got them.
Really?
Yep.
How'd they solve that? If you
Patch.
And would you unlock the achievements, or did you have to go back and play it again?
I don't know.
Yeah, see, that's always the problem when achievements are broken. Man, it sucks. It sucks. And I hate DRM stuff. It's one of those things where I'm not a pro piracy guy. Obviously, we kind of live in the model where we give our stuff away for free and ask for basically donations or people support it. But man, when DRM stuff comes up, it just drives me crazy when that stuff comes up, because I'm one of those people who buy all my stuff. I don't download anything, and so like Spore not being able to install on more than 2 machines, or just not even be able to make backups of my my DVDs, like legitimately, it just drives me fucking nuts.
Yeah, plus Spore also has that additional thing where you have to log in. Where you have to make that EA account.
It's dumb.
It was terrible.
I had a fucking thing on Age of Booty not too long ago. Age of Booty, yeah.
Yeah.
Where I was all the way through to the last mission. There's 7 missions in the game, and you do them 3 times. You do easy, medium, and hard. And I was on number 21, which was the last mission on hard. And I was in the process of playing it and about to beat it, and my internet died. And I got disconnected from the internet, and the game popped up and said, "You're playing a trial version," and deleted my saved game. And I lost 100% of my progress.
Wow,
that's rough.
It was horrible. I was just gone. I couldn't get it back.
Another problem I've seen with Xbox Live Arcade that can be a problem is that if you're playing the trial game, and you buy the trial game when it prompts you, like, oh, you've reached the end of level 1. If you buy the full game, you can unlock these achievements. And you buy the game, always restart your Xbox. Because I've had it before where I've played trial and I played through the first 5 or 6 levels of a game, and then it just, because I started as a trial, it doesn't save them.
Yep.
So I'd stay away from that in general. That sucks, man.
It does suck, yeah. Because it was like a couple days worth of work.
Now, were you playing it on the console that you purchased it on?
Yes.
Really?
I believe so, yeah.
Because that's a big deal for the Xbox DRM, is that you don't have to be online to play on something if you purchase it on that console.
It's possible that I had purchased it in the office for a video and then was playing it at home, but I'm pretty sure I purchased it at home.
I think you actually purchased it at the office,
Maybe
if I remember
did, but
properly.
regardless,
man, I don't think that anyone else has the problems we have with multiple Xboxes, because I have 3 Xboxes.
Yeah,
no joke.
I have 4.
And here I've got 3 that I work on a regular basis. I have this one right here that we do Red versus Blue on. I have the one out there in the main room. And then I've got Chicken Mouth that I play on too.
We also have a unique problem in that anytime one of those Xboxes red rings and I have to call support or try to get a ticket open for them, who knows what name it's under?
Right.
I read in the serial number, like, oh, I don't show this is under your name. I'm like, I know we have it in an office. Like, I can't help you if it's not in your name. Is it under Michael Burns? No. I have to go through everyone's name in the office.
Yeah. There's not many people that have a business need for Xbox.
Yeah.
I think it's a pretty rare thing that we have.
Yeah, and I think they think I'm trying to pull some kind of scam on them, and because they're like, oh, well, why isn't your name on this Xbox? I'm like, I don't know, dude. We have 30 of them.
Yeah.
And they're like, sure.
Right, yeah. We're calling from a pawn shop. Yeah, that's the other thing, too, is when I talk to people about just the way I manage my Xbox stuff, I'm always amazed that not everybody has a memory card. I couldn't imagine having an Xbox and not having a memory card to go with it.
Absolutely.
It just makes no sense. My gamer tag is not on any console. It's just on a memory card that's constantly in my pocket or in my briefcase.
Mm-hmm. So. Plus, we travel a bit more, and play Xbox while we're traveling a bit more than most people.
He's about to flip out.
I got fucked! I got fucked by Knuckles Dawson because he came down to visit us.
What's going on?
I discovered this the other day.
Oh, my God. Knuckles comes down to visit us, and he's one of those dirty Canadians, right? So he comes down to just visit us, and he is, Knuckles, God bless him, is an Xbox Live ambassador, or what's his name?
Microsoft MVP. Yeah.
He's a Microsoft MVP for service to Microsoft. So he gets all the shit basically that we don't get. You know what I mean? Everything an early copy of a Microsoft game, whatever, they send it to Knuckles. And one of the things that he got was he got a month beforehand. He got the new Xbox experience, the new dashboard. Right. And so he brought it down. He goes, hey, do you want to try it out? And you can make your avatar and change your gamer tag. I said, yeah, I'll give it a try. So I throw my memory card in his machine.
His Canadian machine.
His Canadian Xbox, which he had brought down. So now I was registered as playing on a Canadian Xbox. So now my account is flagged in this kind of weird pseudo-cheater realm where I played for 2 hours in Canada, then played an hour later in the U.S., So my gamer score is now suspect, according to what?
MyGamerCard.net. Bernie.
Fuck those guys.
Bernie has an asterisk next to his name.
An asterisk, like fucking Barry Bonds. I mean, give me a fucking break.
Wish there was strip club DJ.
So is this
Son of a whore.
Is this a Microsoft thing or just a MyGamerCard.net? If it's just MyGamerCard.net, fuck it. Who gives a shit?
I don't give a shit. But fuck.
Oh, he gives a shit.
I still don't like having the goddamn asterisk.
Anybody that looks at that website, and one would assume a lot of people do, will see that Bernie Burns is potentially a cheater.
Suspect. My reputation has been sullied.
That's shitty, man. That's really shitty.
All right, what's the chance that this thing's going to recover
We
from
are
this
all
crash?
looking at a pinwheel right now.
What did you click on?
I just clicked to clear the high...
Why would you do that?
Or as
Why?
Joel says, the beach ball.
Joel calls
When
me-
I was trying to diagnose this problem earlier this morning, he was like, it was beach balling all night last night. I don't know
Jeff,
why.
Jeff had to ask me what that meant, and I was like, I'm pretty sure he means the pinwheel.
Yeah, that's something they don't put in the commercials for the Mac, is that when you use a Mac, you get this spinning, colory pinwheel,
Yeah.
and you get it all the fucking time.
Day one, after Jeff got his Mac and he was setting up his MacBook Pro, I was like, you're going to learn to hate that fucking pinwheel.
Yeah, he goes, congratulations on finally getting a Mac. You're going to love it. Going to hate the pinwheel.
Well, it's the equivalent of the hourglass in
Yeah.
Windows if you don't use a Mac. And the hourglass does occasionally come up. You know, I mean, the blue screen of death comes up way more than the hourglass does. But the pinwheel on a Mac comes up constantly. The good news is the Mac seems to be able to recover from whatever this weird stalling state is on a pretty regular basis.
Yeah, the hourglass on a PC is the pre-crash notice.
Right.
Typically.
It's like, your application has quit responding.
Not,
Say goodbye to your work.
not so much with the Mac.
So what were we talking about? Oh, yeah, gamer score. Yeah, speaking of gamer score, I finally broke 10,000 gamer score last night.
And what was the game that you broke 10,000 gamer score with?
Fallout 3.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, what's been, like, of all the games you've played, and by the way, congratulations on that horrible score.
Yeah.
But what is your biggest game that you've played? Like, would you have 1,000 points in Halo 3?
I think I have like 990 in Halo 3.
Yeah, you do. I think you're missing Overkill.
Yeah, I need
Yikes.
to...
I'm not going to get that.
I need to get 1,000 in Halo 3 before I go much further in Fallout 3, because I think I'm getting close to 1,000 points in Fallout 3.
Well,
Okay.
You speaking of achievements in Fallout 3, you have an achievement I don't have.
I played one quest tree, basically.
Blood Ties. I didn't get that. I fucked that one up.
What'd you do? You killed everybody?
Long story.
Okay, never mind.
I'll give the brief version. You know the sheriff at that town?
Yes.
I set up a mine in the defensive position because we were getting attacked by Mirelurks.
Yeah?
A Mirelurk stepped on the mine, shrapnel hit the sheriff. The sheriff turned hostile and assumed I was attacking him.
Ah.
And so the whole town became hostile to me, and I couldn't complete any quests in there anymore.
Oh, that's, that happens sometimes, you know? That's the really delicate relationships in any RPG.
Yeah, and I hadn't saved for like an hour and a half, and I didn't want to go back and load an hour and a half old save just to complete that quest. I said, fuck it.
I can't. That game, I couldn't start playing it because it's so scary. I was talking about the game with Finchland yesterday, who told me he has 181 hours in the game and has identified 50 locations he hasn't been to yet.
Well, like, he said that he had played a 120-hour game, his Xbox died, and his save got corrupted. So he started a fresh game, and he's like over 60 hours into that one. And speaking of which, I just got that Explorer perk last night that he was talking about. And if you get this Explorer perk, you can get it at level 20. It unlocks all the areas on the map. So you can see every location.
It sounds massive, though.
Yeah, and I realized that I've been to maybe 25% of the map. Maybe.
That's
I believe
ridiculous.
that. I believe that. It's a lot of walking. But they do a cool thing in Fallout 3 where once you've discovered an area, you can just warp to it.
Right. Well, that's cool.
Yeah, that is not,
Yeah,
that is
yeah.
nice.
Otherwise, the game would be unbearable.
You get mounts in Fallout 3 later? Because I
No.
see them sitting around. I see, like, motorcycles and stuff.
No.
Okay, I guess you don't need them. But
No. You can, when you play the pit, you can get on like a railroad handcart, and that's how you get to the pit.
yeah, that sounds fucking great. Railroad
Now,
handgun.
now that we're back on Fallout 3 again, I'm going to try and preempt it and talk about Battlefield 1943.
One last thing I
again.
want to talk about Fallout 3. Last thing.
I give up.
He won't let you. He won't let you.
So I saw this morning that the Fallout trilogy, like the original games, made it back into the NPD top 10 PC game sales. So
Since when? Like 1994?
yeah, those games came out in, I guess Fallout 2 probably came out in 97, if I had to take a guess. So, and I think Fallout came out in 95 or 96.
So does the trilogy include Fallout 3?
No, it's Fallout, Fallout 2, and one of the lesser known games. Like they had a couple of other smaller spin-offs. It's one of those other ones.
Oh, okay. Fascinating.
So it's so because of Fallout, Fallout 3 didn't even just come out. Fallout 3 came out 6 months ago. Because of Fallout 3 DLC, they're selling old games now.
That is true.
An old game has sold enough to break it into the top 10 of PC game sales.
Fallout
because
2.
PC game sales are so dead that there's just nothing left to buy.
I would probably argue that the trilogy is now available simply because you can't pirate it anywhere. You know, I mean, and it's going up on the sales chart because people are just like seeing it in the store and saying, "Oh, it's $20 or whatever." Probably.
Yeah, it's like 15 or $20. Yeah, the copies I own of Fallout and Fallout 2, I bought at garage sales for like $1.
Fallout 2 was released in 1998 by Interplay.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened to Interplay? So I don't know if you guys have heard this, but Battlefield 1943.
Wait, hold on.
Who cares?
I'll talk about Fallout 2 now.
No, come on. Battlefield, you played it? Good?
No, it was just a trailer.
Yeah?
I didn't play the trailer, unfortunately.
Well,
But
How did you watch it if
you
you
did
didn't?
read the podcast.
It looks exactly like Battlefield 1942, which is awesome.
That is
I had
good.
forgotten how much fun that game was
Battlefield
until I saw the trailer.
1942 was such an awesome game.
So much fun.
Choke points, all that stuff.
First game to do
introduced so
vehicles
much.
right.
Yep.
And FPS. I mean, that was a fantastic game, and it's going to be $15 on Xbox Live.
Really?
Yeah,
It comes
Wow.
out. It comes out next month.
yeah. Bernie's looking it up right now.
Yeah, I'm
Checking
looking
out
at the trailer right now. I'm playing it here in the background. You can probably hear it.
Oh yeah.
It's on Battlefield1943.com.
So is Battlefield 1943 going to have more maps, or is it just going to be Iwo Jima?
I think it's just Iwo Jima.
I mean, don't
I
get
don't
me wrong.
know.
That was a great map, and that's
Yeah.
like that's what was,
I mean, that
the
was-
demo was.
That was the
Iwo
whole. That was
Jima.
even when we had the game. That's all we played.
No, I think you guys are confusing Iwo Jima with Wake Island.
Oh,
Wake
you're
Island,
right.
that's
Wake
right.
Island. Sorry.
Yeah, Wake Island was the cool map. That was a lot of fun. Iwo Jima was up the hill, and that was not as much fun, I didn't think. So
Yeah.
maybe this is just, they're using the name because it's more recognizable than Wake Island.
Right.
So, man, what a fun game, though. Okay, what else do we want to talk about? Read a funny story that I can't do the Vulcan greeting. I can't, whether you split your fingers, I can't do it. I've never been able to do it, and it was a lot more popular when I was a kid. I cannot do that.
Mm-hmm.
And it turns out Zachary Quinto can't do it either. Like, he looks just like Spock, but apparently he can't really do the one eyebrow thing, and he can't do the Vulcan greeting where he splits his fingers. And so their solution was on the set, they glued his fingers together.
Really?
Yeah, they glued his index finger to his middle finger and his ring finger to his pinky finger so that he could do the salute. I mean, I don't know if it's something you can learn if you just can't do it.
Wow.
Yeah, I can't do it.
It's like
You
you're
look
either double
terrible.
jointed or you're not double jointed.
When,
that kind of
when you're
thing.
trying
Yeah.
to do it, it looks like you have rheumatoid arthritis. It
Well,
looks
It
painful.
does. It's
See,
like
the only thing I can do is I can go forward with it, but I can't go sideways.
making some kind of a weird
gang
claw.
sign. It looks like I don't know what that is.
What's up, bitches? And then what else we need to talk about? Anything else at all?
Did they glue his eyebrow? Can they fix that with tape maybe in the next movie?
They CG'd it.
Yeah, they probably just fix that stuff in post. Terminator's coming out not this week, but next week.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I'm looking forward to
Yeah.
it, but I just realized that movie's PG-13 and not rated R.
Yeah.
But you know what? I was watching Lost last night, and a dude got a stick of rebar shoved through his chest. So,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
and that's television.
Dude, Lost had that episode where the dude went off the balcony and they showed it. That
Yeah.
was crazy.
Another dude with the same episode, I'm pretty sure, where Saeed threw a dude into a dishwasher full of knives.
It's the same scene,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
So, I don't know, man. I don't know how they get away with that stuff anymore. So, who knows what PG-13 is. You know what PG-13 will mean? Is that we can see someone's head get chopped off, but the girl can't take off her top, is basically what that
Yeah,
means.
probably.
You know, the American system, the way we do ratings here.
I read that. They cut the nude scene with the lead female actress in Terminator Salvation.
Bryce Howard?
I don't know who Bryce Howard is.
Yeah.
That's Ron Howard's girl. She was in Lady in the Water.
Oh no, the one I was some Bloodgood or something was her name.
Oh, okay.
Bryce Howard, that's the she was in The Village, and she was Gwen.
She's probably more famous for the
She had the huge
Christian
rack in-
Bale rant of God damn it, man! Bryce is in the scene. I'm like, what's he doing back there? Bryce is the name of the actress, not the guy walking around going la da 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 in the background.
She's the chick with the huge rack in Spider-Man 3.
Oh yeah, she plays Gwen Stacy.
Yeah.
Okay.
The thing about the trailer for Terminator, which bothers me, and it really bothers me a lot, is they're setting up a weird premise of there's this guy who's with them, who's apparently fights alongside them as a Terminator.
Yes.
Right? And there's that scene where Bryce Howard is operating on the guy. She goes, let's see what we've got here. Then she apparently opens him up and freaks out. And she has a line saying, we've never seen anything like this before. Yeah, they have. Because they've seen the Terminators. I mean, it's still John Connor. He still had his past the way he had it as a kid. He's still seen the Terminators. I'm sure he told everyone, hey, eventually they're going to create these things where...
It might be the first time they'd seen it. Like, it might not have happened yet.
But John Connor saw him as a kid.
Right, but those were from the future. Like, they're just in the future.
But he knows they're going to make them.
But there's one
They
person that
can't be
knows
some-
that. They've still never seen
Right,
it.
they've still never seen it. It's the
He
first
told
time
them about
that they've
it.
really encountered it, like, in battle.
She says literally, we've never seen. They're all shocked
Because they hadn't seen it. Only John Connor's seen it.
And then
But
they
he's
realize,
there, he's
but
the
then
leader.
He's
but that's
seen
the,
it.
they realize that that's the point where they are in history. Like, oh, this is where the shit happens. It's like, for instance, the first time when you're like 9
Watch
and
the
your
trailer.
friend tells you about boobs, and you're like, that sounds whatever, and then you see them for the first time, and you're like, you weren't prepared.
Watch the trailer. There's genuine shock, not like, oh, this is the thing that we knew was always coming, that they were going to make. And even like this premise of these big machines that are picking up people, that they're taking apparently them to make some kind of like, they're growing flesh. That's like hinted at in the trailer.
We don't even know what she sees in there. Maybe there's organs and stuff.
Right, it could
Maybe
be
it's different.
It definitely could be a bad edit from the trailer, right? It could be like the guys like trying to set it up, but the trailer definitely set the premise like, here's the first Terminator that looks like a person, a first machine that looks like a person, and we're totally unprepared for this. But John Connor, that's the one thing he knows about the future is that they're going to make these machines. And so it's this weird like suspension of disbelief that John Connor and these people, these rebels, wouldn't know that these things are coming.
We don't know what happened between Terminator 3 and 4, though. What if he, like, fell and hit his head on a rock and got amnesia?
What if it's a clone of John Connor?
Yeah,
and he doesn't
there you
have
go.
all the memories. Go back and watch the trailer for Terminator Salvation and take it from the premise of John Connor definitely knows what a Terminator is, definitely knows that there's machines covered in flesh and look like people, and then the trailer makes no fucking sense whatsoever.
Well, also, the Terminators he ran into, and I'm just getting into semantics here.
Okay.
They didn't think they were people.
That's true.
It also seems like in this trailer, this thing doesn't know that it's a Terminator. That it thinks it's a person.
But they did try to infiltrate into groups of people and disguise themselves as people.
That's
that was
true.
the original purpose.
That
of
was
them.
their, yeah.
So while they're surprised maybe that this guy doesn't know that he's a Terminator, like John Connor's lines in the trailer indicate that he doesn't know he's a Terminator. That's a kind of a new twist. But the whole thing of like that one of our people could be a machine in hiding, that'd be the one thing you'd be ready for. Like that's my crazy mom. The one thing she told me that was right was that the machines do become, sentient and they disguise themselves as people.
They should have figured it out when he was drinking antifreeze in the fucking lunchroom. It didn't make any sense.
That'd be great if like they were in a battle. It's like
The
the machines are fighting us. We've never seen this before. It's like we saw this just last week. We fought machines. It's like maybe everything is new to this guy.
Oh, man. Okay, what else is on the list? Anything else to talk about?
No.
No?
You sound angry.
No, I'm
Jeff's been not into this. I could tell the entire time.
No, I'm into it.
No, he hasn't been into it the entire
I'm
time.
totally into it.
He was really into the Lost stuff.
I was really into Battlefield 1943.
You got cut off.
I cut off 19 times.
Okay, so let's talk some more about Fallout 3. How far?
Is there anything you want to talk about, Jeff?
No.
No, you're out of it.
Wait, aren't you going on vacation or something soon?
I should take this opportunity to tell you that I'm going on vacation. I've changed my dates and location again. So now I'm going on vacation from the 25th to the 30th again. Just so you know.
Of May?
Yes, of May.
You come in every week. You tell me you're taking a vacation, and it's different every time you tell me.
It's true.
You're like the John Connor of vacation time. Basically, you can't remember.
Vacation.
We've already had this conversation, and it's slightly different, but not that different. You can take your vacation whenever you want.
Okay, thank you.
It's fine. All right, well, that does it. Gus, give us a theme song. Get us out of here.
We've had laughs. We've had fun. Bye-bye.